Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And that's your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. Breaking news. Breaking news. This is huge. Absolutely huge. For the Daily Mail, the FBI is tipping off the New York Times about its raids. Lawyer for Project Veritas boss James O'Keefe suggests feds are breaking the law by handing privileged legal communications to Times journalists in a hit piece. Now, here's the deal. There's a federal judge that, when James O'Keefe was raided and 2 of his cell phones were confiscated in the raid, that leaked in the New York Times. Now, right now, Project Veritas is suing the New York Times for millions. Meanwhile, the FBI, or somebody that knows people in the FBI, leaked the information to the New York Times. We're talking about personal correspondence with lawyers, especially in their defamation case. That's not accounting the fact that God knows how many whistleblowers that are in there. And they have letters back and forth and emails to lawyers and donor lists and everything else. This is freaking huge. I absolutely shocked. We know a lot of some, not all the FBI, but some of them, especially the higher ups, are the deep state, as they say. But the thing of it is, though, I never thought they would ever be this brazen. I mean, right after a federal judge said stop taking information out of the iPhones of James O'Keefe at Project Veritas, this comes out in the New York Times. Personal correspondence between Project Veritas and their lawyers. Here's the thing, though. Oh, whistleblowers, by the way. They probably had a whole bunch more whistleblowers in there that haven't been made public yet. And now those names are known. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. That's corruption to a level that I thought I would never see. Be interesting to see how social media handles this. If you recall, the Hunter Biden laptop, remember that fiasco? And supposedly what they said was, we're not going to have any information on the Hunter Biden laptop because it was presumably stolen, even though there was proof that it wasn't. Well, they said that Ashley Biden's diary was stolen. Project Veritas got that last year before the election. Could have made it public and destroyed Biden's campaign. But they didn't because they couldn't verify it. Okay. Or maybe it was planted and the FBI had somebody bring it to Project Veritas to see if they would do it so they go after him, and it didn't work. I'm not really sure. This is so convoluted and so twisted. It's like a bad movie. But even still, even if the FBI wasn't involved in O'Keefe at Project Veritas getting the diary, to do this right after they raided 2 of his reporters 2 days prior, and within 2 hours, the New York Times was calling up the reporters, asking them for comment. And now with O'Keefe involved in a huge libel suit against the New York Times, has all that private information with his attorneys in the New York Times suit, plus God knows what else, is going to freeze all journalists. It's probably going to freeze donors to Project Veritas. I don't want to be on the list with the FBI. Can't do it anonymously. This is huge. And I'm old enough to remember Watergate. I'm telling you, this is nothing. Watergate is chump change compared to this. Let's read on. On Thursday, the New York Times published a report based on memos from the group's lawyer, grouping Project Veritas, revealing his legal advice on the group's use of false identities and undercover filming tactics that is skewed by most modern journalists. Well, that's not really true. 60 Minutes used to do it all the time. O'Keefe's attorney, Harmeet Hinton, That I remember her. She's on Fox all the time. She's sharp as hell. An interview on Thursday night slammed the report as a hit piece and questioned whether the DOJ had leaked illegal memos to the Times, an extraordinary and possibly illegal step. Of course it was illegal. Now, she didn't come out and say it came from the FBI because she's smarter than that. I can't say how the New York Times got this information, but it got it in a way that is illegal and unethical. Oh, guys don't care about ethics. It's illegal. Now, was it a rogue agent that leaked it out? Was it an agent that gave it to somebody else who leaked it out? I really don't know. My gut tells me this. My gut tells me that James O'Keefe stepped on a lot of toes. There's powerful, powerful drug companies that he just obliterated with his undercover videos. And now this thing with the New York Times. He's won every single court case he's been involved in. It's cost him millions. And there's people that donate. I've donated to Project Veritas when they got flooded out, a flood a few months ago in Long Island. This will put a damper on their fundraising because they're technically a 501c3 nonprofit. So you can use it for a tax deduction. This is escalated to I don't get it. You know, just because you're corrupt doesn't mean you're stupid. This is an incredibly stupid move. I don't know if it's just 2 or 3 agents or it's at the top levels of the FBI. I don't know. But to be this brazen, and of course they use the excuse for the raids, the Ashley Biden diary. Well, what happened was somebody came to Project Veritas, make a long story short, said they had Ashley Biden's diary last year before the election. Some very, very, we'll call it cringeworthy and maybe even incriminating things about Joe Biden. Project Veritas got the diary, couldn't confirm if it was real. So they said it was Ashley Biden, so James O'Keefe and his associates went to local law enforcement, I'm assuming in New York or Long Island. They wouldn't take it. Eventually it got into the hands of law enforcement, and that's the last they've heard of it. It's almost been a year. All of a sudden now, here come the FBI raids concerning Ashley Biden's diary. This whole thing stinks. Unbelievable. We know that because minutes after the raids occurred, they got calls to the New York Times, which was the only journalism outlet that I knew about. And they published this hit piece today, which is really despicable. I don't think I've ever seen this low from the New York Times before to publish somebody's private legal communications. And that's the lawyer for Project Veritas, which she's right here. She is really sharp. Harmeet? Oh, yeah. I wouldn't screw with her. This is a scandal of epic proportions. Every journalist who is not worried about this should hang up their journalism card, and all First Amendment lawyers as well, said Hilton. Now, she's right. Even people that hate the Republicans' guts, even so-called journalists on the internet and web pages and all the TV stations of the legacy media, this is the canary in the coal mine for them. Because who's to say they won't come after them next? This is huge. The DOJ did not immediately respond to an inquiry from the Daily Mail outside of business hours on Friday. The Times report quotes legal advice that attorney Benjamin Barr gave Project Veritas about the laws surrounding covert recordings and deceptive false identities in various situations and jurisdictions. Some states you can record phone calls without the other one's permission. Some states you need both sides to say okay. If you say you're undercover and claim you're X, Y, or Z, and it's a government official, is that against the law? It's complicated. So they wanted to make sure in any of their undercover operations, they weren't breaking state and even more importantly, federal law, which I'll give them. They didn't print anything about the Ashley Biden diary, and they could have. They could have leaked it out, but they didn't. In one case, he consulted a plan to use Tinder to meet prospective agents of the deep state or those with national security clearances and advised against attempting to obtain or publish information related to national security. In another, he warned that attempting to use false identity to enter campaign events with the Secret Service vets attendees could result in federal charges aligned to a government agent. So they were trying to figure out everything within the law. Now, you might not like their tactics, but at least they were checking it out. On Saturday, the FBI raided O'Keefe's home as part of the investigation of the Ashley Biden stolen diary, which was not just yesterday's news, it was last year's news. Project Veritas not published a diary. The group said it did discuss it with sources in the winning days of the 2020 election. And they couldn't confirm it was hers, so they didn't do it. Portions of the diary were published by another conservative outlet, which said they were provided by a frustrated employee of a media outlet that passed on them. I don't think it was Project Veritas. Frankly, I don't. And there's an apartment building that was raided. Unbelievable. And it was ignored because it's crap. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Authorities raided O'Keefe's Westchester County residence in Arnak just a day after O'Keefe himself acknowledged Project Veritas is being probed. I woke up to a pre-dawn raid, banging on my door, went to my door to answer the door, and there were 10 FBI agents with a battering ram, white blinding lights. They turned me around, handcuffed me, and threw me against the hallway, he told Fox News. They confiscated my phone. They raided my apartment. On my phone were many of my reporters' notes, a lot of my sources unrelated to this story, and a lot of confidential donor information to our news organization. I've heard the process is the punishment. I really didn't understand what that meant until this weekend. I wouldn't wish this on any journalist. If they can do this to me, they can do this to any journalist. Now, this is just speculative now, but I think it's not so crazy. And that is James O'Keefe. He always says on his videos here on YouTube and other places as well, be brave, do something. Okay. And he's been saying anybody in government agencies, FBI included, that you see some just things are just plain old wrong, and you want to be a whistleblower and keep your identity to yourself, we will oblige you. Maybe the FBI thought there were 1, 2, 3, God knows how many whistleblowers. Maybe there was is getting so rotten there that maybe some agents that really believed in their oath said, I can't do this anymore. I came to the FBI to protect my country and to put criminals in jail, foreign and domestic. They took an oath, just like I did when I was a councilman in the early 2000s, to uphold the Constitution and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Maybe there's conscience bothered them. I don't know. Now, do I think that the FBI is just overrun with these deep state, don't care, destroy people, live monsters? No, I don't. I believe it's a select few, some probably towards the top. I know Southern District of New York FBI division has been after Trump for years. I don't know. But it was the Southern Division of the FBI that raided O'Keefe's place in Long Island. I don't know. Is it because they're scared and they're panicking? Is it because they have information? I don't know. I don't know. It's FBI agents are trying to turn. Find out who's whistleblowing, who the whistleblowers are outside the FBI, whether the big drug companies got to Joe Biden and our Attorney General, Merrick Garland, and says, get these SOBs I don't know. There's so many unanswered questions. It's amazing to me. And there's Harmeet again. She's sharp attorney, very sharp attorney. I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know if it's really, all the facts are going to get out, at least the majority of them. I really don't know. This is brazen. This is absolutely way off the hook. This makes Watergate. I mean, this has been said a lot with Trump. This is bigger than Watergate. That's bigger than Watergate. No. This is 10 times worse than Watergate. And this is just the beginning. And even more dangerous is the average American citizen that loses faith and respect for their institutions. And we all know from history, when your citizens lose faith in your government and the institutions, it always crumbles. So I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. It isn't just James O'Keefe. It's all over the place. Secret FISA warrants. God knows who's spying on who and for what reason, whether it's legal, where it isn't, I really don't know. But this, I hope this doesn't go away. There's so many things going on that stories like this get brushed under the carpet. It's like getting a drink from a fire hose. A ton of it goes by you. I don't know. But I think this is huge. This has the potential of being one of the biggest scandals in U.S. government history. History. We'll have to see. Oh, I wonder what God's thinking right now. Anyway, until next time, goodbye and good luck.